Hi and welcome to this 44th live tech Q&A session where you can ask me some tech related question and hopefully I'll be able to answer them. And you can post the questions in the YouTube comments, so I'll just take them up. And also if you are on Twitter, it's a good idea to follow me on Twitter at @Geekyranjit. So let's start this session. And the first question that I get is from Sandeep Sai. My question is, I'm planning to buy the Galaxy S5. Yesterday, went to the local store and handled the phone. The available RAM is around 395 MB without installing any apps. I'm a social guy who installs a lot of apps. Is the available RAM in the S5 sufficient for a hardcore user, or can the Note 3 Neo perform more running tasks than the Galaxy S5? Sandeep, definitely the Samsung Galaxy S5 is a much more better handset compared to the Note 3 Neo. I had used both these devices. So don't worry about the limited RAM. Yes, the Galaxy S5 has just 2 GB of RAM compared to the regular Note 2 that has 3 GB of RAM, but the Note 3 Neo has also just 2 GB of RAM. And in terms of the processing power, the Galaxy S5 Exynos version that is being sold in India is definitely a much more powerful device compared to the Note 3 Neo. So definitely, in my opinion, go with the Galaxy S5. And also in terms of heating, the Galaxy S5, even the Exynos version, heats a lot less compared to the Note 3 Neo. So in my suggestion, go with the Galaxy S5. And now the Galaxy S5 in India is available for a very decent price, I would say, around the 38,000 rupees mark. So I hope that helps you. Second question I get is from Samuel Thomas. Sir, good evening. I have two questions. He continues. First, I need a new Android phone. Budget is around rupees 17,000. Is the LG L90 a better smartphone for me in that price range? Does the phone having any heating issues? Samuel, yes, the LG L90 is actually a very decent device for that price. If you shop around, you can get that phone for around 16,000 to 16,500, and at that price point, I would say it's an excellent phone. I've already done the review of this LG L90, so if you want to go into the nitty-gritty details of that, watch my review. Overall, it's a good device, but LG has cut some corners. For example, it does not have the auto brightness sensor and also the physical LED notification light. I think so these are the two things. But apart from that, I would say the overall package of this LG L90, it's a very good handset. Second, what software are you using for video editing in Windows? Actually, I'm not using Windows anymore. I've stopped using Windows. I'm using a Mac now. But when I was using Windows 8, I was using a Sony Platinum Studio or something like that. It's basically a dumbed down version of the Sony Vegas. Sony Vegas is what, for around $500, $600, but this is the one I was using, the Sony Platinum. You can just get it for about $100, and I was using that for my video editing needs. I hope that helps you. This is by Kiran. Sir, love your videos. I like to know about upcoming mid-range devices within the 20,000 price bracket, which are promising in terms of performance. Any chance of another Motorola launch, or what about the Galaxy Core LTE? Kiran, yes. Regarding Samsung, yes, the Galaxy Core LTE, they might launch it. I'm not sure if they'll launch it right away, because you need to understand that LTE in India is still not there. Yes, Airtel has some, in some regions, LTE at the 2300 megahertz band, but the major rollout of LTE will be on the 1800 megahertz band. Reliance is going to do it in a big way, and some other mobile providers are also doing, but I don't see it happening anytime right now. But by the end of this year, yes, we will have LTE. So do expect a lot of mid-range phones at that time to be launched with LTE support. Right now, I don't think so. There are any devices that are going to be, for example, the Xperia M2 has been already launched. This LG L90 has been launched. You could say that HTC Desire 816 also, right now it's just launched, that's why it's around the 23,000 mark, but eventually in about 2 months, it should also fall down to around that 20,000 mark. So yes, we might see some new devices when this 4G LTE rolls out in India, but that is again a couple of months as of now. So I don't see any exciting new device from Samsung or Motorola as of now to be launched around that 20,000 price bracket as of now. So I hope that helps you. This is by Manav Sahini. Sir, great videos. Which is your favorite camcorder and which one do you use? Actually, in terms of camcorder, I don't use a lot of camcorders. I use the Sony camcorder. This is the HDR PJ380. This has a projector on it, but it's kind of useless. Just you also have a Sony camcorder without this projector module, and that is also actually serves fine. So if you want to save a lot more money, just go for that model. This is the one I use for camcorders. Actually, I haven't used a lot of camcorders. I heard that the Canon lineup of camcorders and even Panasonic line of camcorders are pretty good, but again, I haven't used them. I also use some DSLRs, so I hope that helps you. But again, camcorder is way easier. The advantages of camcorder is that you don't have to worry about focusing, and also generally with camcorders, you don't have the limit of what do you say, time. For example, in DSLRs, the older ones just had you can record continuously only for about 12 minutes, but the newer ones you can record up to 29 minutes. But if you want continuous recording for an hour or so, then definitely still the camcorder wins. I hope that helps. This is by Joeb Das. I have a 3-year-old laptop. It runs Windows 7. I want to install Windows 8 or 8.1 on it, but unfortunately the manufacturer did not release any drivers beyond Windows 7. I have just the Windows 7 drivers, so how can I install Windows 8 or 8.1 on my laptop? By the way, my laptop has first generation Core i5 processor with 4 GB of RAM. Joeb, actually, I also installed Windows 8 and eventually upgraded to 8.1 on my old Core i7. And my manufacturer specifically did not give any drivers. But from my understanding, Windows 8 will install properly and it will run fine if it runs Windows 7. But I'm not very happy with Windows 8, specifically 8.1. And that is one of the main reasons that I migrated back to the Mac, because of Windows 8.1. If you're happy with Windows 7, stick to that. Unless you want to use that new modern UI and you have a touchscreen based laptop, then Windows 8.1 makes sense. Otherwise, if you're just going to work on the desktop, I would say stick to Windows 7. But yes, definitely if you want to install it, Windows 8.1 or 8 will work fine, as it's already running. You are able to run Windows 7 fine. I hope that info helps. This is by Umang Agarwal, sir. A mid-range phone under rupees 15,000 for gaming, mainly Samsung device. Umang, lately Samsung hasn't launched many mid-range devices. So under 15,000, we have a couple of options, but these are kind of old devices now. We have the Galaxy Core, and you can also get the Galaxy Quattro. But again, I won't say these are great devices. These are kind of old as of now for the price that you're paying. Yes, Samsung phones at that price point have good camera. But if you can look at the LG L90, I would say that is definitely better than even the Core or the Galaxy Grand Quattro that we have for below 15,000 or so. Also, if you're okay with Sony devices, then the Sony Xperia L is another good choice. And obviously, we have the Moto G also. This is by Jaspreet Singh. You guys can help me because I don't have an answer for this question. Hello, sir. Please suggest me a tablet with voice calling that can play games like Asphalt 8. My budget is around 10,000 to 12,000 rupees. So he wants a tablet with voice calling facility and that can run Asphalt 8. So if you guys have any suggestions, because I do not review a lot of tablets and specifically with voice calling, so I'm a little bit clueless on this one. Hopefully one of you guys can help Jaspreet Singh. Let's move to the next question. This is by Sumit Mishra. Good evening, sir. How are you doing? I'm doing great, Sumit. My questions are, what is the difference between USB 2 and USB 3? Are the connecting plug-in size the same? And he has some more questions. Let's take the first question. Between USB 2 and USB 3, actually the plug will look very similar. These are backward compatible. For example, let's say if you have a pen drive, for example, this is a pen drive that is USB 3, but if you plug it in a USB 2 port also, it will work fine. The only difference is that with the USB 3 interface, again, your pen, for example, for this example, the pen drive as well as your computer has to support USB 3. If they do that, the speeds will be a lot more. Theoretically, USB 2 speeds max out at 480 megabits per second, and that transfers to around 30 MB or so. Best case scenario, I would say. But on the other hand, the USB 3 interface is very fast. It can you can get speeds up to 4.8 gigabits. That's almost, I would say, 10 times faster. And so for very high speed hard drives and very high speed thumb drives, definitely the USB 3 will be a lot faster. But again, you have to make sure that your computer as well as the device that you are buying has to support USB 3. Otherwise, the speeds will fall back to USB 2. Those are slower speeds. One more thing with the USB 3 is that some of the devices that support USB 3, they support faster charging. Again, difference between Bluetooth 2.1 and Bluetooth 4. I'll just quickly say the major difference between Bluetooth 2.1 and Bluetooth 4 is the Bluetooth 4 is very, very energy efficient. Hence, it's also known as Bluetooth low power. So I hope that helps you. And last question he asks is, for better performance and camera, which one would you recommend between the Xperia SP or the Xperia M2? Definitely the Xperia M2 has slightly better camera compared to the Xperia SP. This is again, I'm getting a lot of PC questions after a long time. So this is again a PC related question. This is by Gavi Charal Venkatesh. Are APUs more powerful than a pack of CPU and GPUs? APUs generally, this is a term by AMD. What they do is you just have one processor that also has a built-in GPU core. Generally, yes, even with Intel processors, the i3, i5, i7s, these also have a GPU and a CPU. But with APUs, what AMD has done is that the GPU part, that is specifically for gaming and whatever, is a lot more powerful compared to the CPU part. So this will be ideal for a person who's on a tight budget but still wants to do some gaming. So APUs are generally better for them, but again, don't expect to play very, very high-end games at highest settings. But if you are okay with mid-tier settings, then definitely, and you're on a tight budget, then the APUs will be helpful. But the con with the APUs is that the main processing part is not as powerful as the GPU part. So if you are into heavy stuff like video encoding, video editing, 3D modeling, etc., then I would not recommend the APUs. So I hope that helps. But for general usage, general browsing and stuff, and if you do a little bit of gaming, then and you are on a tight budget, definitely the APUs make a lot of sense. I hope that helps you. Gokul Krishna, what are your thoughts on iOS 8 and what are your initial impressions on the HTC One E8? HTC One E8 is the plastic version of this HTC One M8. This HTC One M8 is entirely, made of aluminum, very good build quality. But the E8 is actually, internals are same, but they have made it in plastic. They haven't launched it yet in India. It's only available in China as of now. I don't think so it will be launched under 30,000. But and HTC India hasn't even hinted about any launch dates for India. But rumors are sounding that it might come by next month sometime, but around the 35,000 mark or so. So again, for the processor and what internals that it has, I think so 35,000 is a good price because it's a very, this HTC One M8 is a very powerful device. And regarding iOS 8, yeah, iOS beta is available, but it hasn't been released yet. I would say it's kind of an incremental upgrade. It's not a very huge upgrade as we have seen from the iOS 6 to iOS 7, but a refinement of iOS 7. And it's going to launch this fall. So I hope that helps. This is by Harsh Nayak. Please let me know that does the Note 3 Neo get as hot as Galaxy S4 while gaming or surfing on 3G? I did not, compare them side by side, but yes, even the Note 3 Neo specifically on 3G does tend to get a little bit hot. I hope that info helps. This is by Mr. Tutorial Guy. Sir, I want to buy some gadgets from Amazon. He did not specify Amazon.com or Amazon India. I've never bought anything from internet, so I'm a little worried about fraud that some people talk about. don't worry, Amazon is a very reputable site, and you can buy stuff from Amazon if you're from India, and you can just use Amazon.in. That way you don't have to worry about anything like customs, etc. But if you are going to buy stuff from Amazon.com, only a limited products are available to be shipped to India, but you will have to Amazon will charge you custom duties, so that can be a little bit heavy. But don't worry about genuineness of the product or something like that. Amazon is very, very safe, no issues. And I am a little bit wary with Amazon.com because you're getting from US. But if that product is available on Amazon.in, that is India, go with that, because if you have any issue also, or if you want to return also, it's a lot easier to return if you buy from Amazon India. This is the next question is by Varun. Hi sir, I love your videos. You are doing a great job. I have two questions. Why does every from 13 to 24,000 have a Snapdragon 400 SoC, while there is another option of a Snapdragon 600 SoC? You have to realize that this pricing of rupees 13,000 to 24,000 is in the mid-range price bracket as of now. So this Snapdragon 400 SoC is based on the ARM Cortex A7 architecture. It's a decent, and coupled with Adreno 305 GPU. And the performance is decent, I would say, good enough. Hence, many of these vendors are going for that. I don't know the SoC pricing. Definitely, the Snapdragon 600 SoC might be a little bit expensive, and I prefer the Snapdragon 400 SoC over the Snapdragon 600 SoC for mainly for two reasons. Is that the Snapdragon 600 SoC is more prone to heating issues. It heats up a lot quicker compared to the Snapdragon 400 SoC. And the second important thing is the battery life that we are getting on the Snapdragon 400 SoC is much better compared to the Snapdragon 600 SoC. Hence, many of these vendors are moving to the Snapdragon 400 SoC for this mid-range devices. Definitely, we have the Snapdragon 800 and the 801, which are used for the high-end these days. So I hope that helps you. Let's move to this next question. This is by Roop Dinka. Hi sir, good evening. Like your review so much. Thank you. Sir, I need your suggestion in buying a mobile under rupees 15,000 for my sister. Moto G is a very good phone, but I want to know whether there are any other phones in this range. We use more video calls, so can you please tell me which phone has a good front-facing camera? Roop Thinker, yes, as you have told, camera is an important thing for you. Then I wouldn't suggest the Moto G because the camera performance of Moto G is very average-ish. In this respect, at least the LG L90, yes, it's not 15,000. I think so. It's around 16,000. Is a better buy. And also check some of the HTC-based devices because they also have pretty good cameras. I hope that info helps. This is by Narayan. Hello, sir. Good evening. I love your videos. I have a question whether the Moto G will get the 4.4.3 KitKat update. Yes, the Moto G is also going to get the latest version of KitKat, that is 4.4.3 that we have already got on the Nexus 5. Motorola hasn't said, Motorola India hasn't said the exact time frame. And but the thing is that already the single SIM variant, that is the international version of the Moto G, in some regions have started to get this 4.4.3 update, but in India we are having the dual SIM variant, so we will also get that update, and I am expecting by the end of this month or early next month we should be able to get that 4.4.3 update. So before moving to the next question, if I know quite a few of you have joined me again, if you like these sessions, do hit that like button. That's the way I know that you guys are interested in these sessions. So let me move to the next question. This is by Ashik Sheikh. So can you make an office tour setup of desktop tour? Ashik Sheikh, yeah. I don't know why. I have a very simple setup, guys. Do let me know if more people want that. I can do a setup, but I don't have a very exotic setup. It's a simple setup that I have, and I generally talk about the components that I use in all of my videos. So I don't know if a lot of you other guys request that, I'll make a setup tour of what the devices I'm using or whatever equipment I'm using. So let's move to the next question. This is a big one. Guys, try to have what do you for example, make the question smaller. Don't write essays. It's a live session. It's very difficult to read all this stuff. So make it concise so it's easier for everybody. Hi Ranjit sir, this is by Preetham. I love your videos. I have one question. I have a Samsung Android phone Galaxy S, and due to its laggy interface, I almost gave up with it. Want to switch to a Windows budget phone. I just love the smooth UI. I'm going to use it for maybe 3 or 4 months as my primary device, and I'm going to buy a mid-range Android phone, Moto G LTE. So my question is the Lumia 520 is the best choice for me? My daily use is almost 6-7 hours of Facebook and WhatsApp chatting, no games, a little bit of photography. So is the Lumia 520 a best choice for me due to its 512 MB of RAM? Will I face any lag, or should I opt for the Lumia 525? Excellent question, Preetham. As you have told that you're not interested in any stuff like gaming, etc., and you're just going to use this Lumia 520 for just about 3-4 months, definitely you can just go for the Lumia 520. It will be more than enough. The advantage of Lumia 525 is that it has 1 GB of RAM, and the only place where I've seen an advantage is that it can play a lot more games compared to the Lumia 520. But as you don't play any games, definitely go for the Lumia 520 and you can save a little bit money. So let's move to next question. This is by Daksh Gupta. Hi sir, love your videos. What are your thoughts on the LG G3 and Android Wear? I'm actually pretty excited about the LG G3. Just got some news from LG India that the LG G3 might launch by next month. They are not revealing the dates, so I'm actually pretty excited about LG G3 because they have managed to fit a 5.5-inch screen, which is that 1440p screen, also called the 2.5K screen. So I'm excited about that handset, and hopefully by next month I'll be able to review it. And yes, I'm also excited about the Android Wear, and I'm specifically looking at this Motorola 360. Actually, I want to buy a new watch, preferably a smartwatch, and I'm just holding. I just want to see what Motorola does with the Motorola 360. So I'm actually pretty excited, and just can't wait for the Moto 360. I just hope that Motorola launches it in India also, and they launch it at an aggressive price. So keeping my fingers crossed, I would say. This is by Aditya. I have a Galaxy Y with Gingerbread. Galaxy Y is a pretty old handset, budget oriented. Any suggestions on an update within 10K? Thanks, sir. Within 10,000, I would say on Android, still the Moto E is the best experience that you can get. Forget about the camera. Camera is nothing great to talk about. But overall, within the 10,000 price bracket, still I would say Moto E. And if you are okay with Windows Phone, then definitely you can look at the Lumia 525 also. I hope that helps. This is by Chetan. Hi sir, I'm a great fan of you, and my sister wants to buy a Windows Phone, and her budget is around 14,000. At the 14,000 price point for Windows Phone, I would suggest that wait for some time, because yes, the Lumia 630 has been launched, and overall it's a decent phone for the price. It's around 11,000 or something, but I would say Nokia has crippled the device a little bit, and I don't like that. Yes, though it has a quad-core processor, but I could not understand the limitation of adding just 512 MB of RAM. So I heard rumors that Nokia is working on one more handset in the entry mid-range segment that will have 1 GB of RAM. So if you can wait for some time, I would suggest that wait and go for that new handset by Lumia whenever it launches with 1 GB of RAM. Because yes, I won't say that Lumia 630 is bad and it cannot run Windows 8.1 fine, but that 512 MB of RAM can be a kind of a limitation in the long run. And I know some Nokia specific apps also that require 1 GB of RAM to work fine. So I hope that helps you. This is by Mahendra Nath Rao. Hello sir, I'm a big fan of yours. Thank you, Mahendra Nath. Buying an iPhone from overseas, is it a good option or not? What are the disadvantages of buying it from other countries? I am not very specifically clear about Apple India policies, but I'll talk about some other vendors. For example, Samsung, LG, and all these vendors. They are very clear. If you don't buy the device or whatever from India with the proper Indian bill, they will not honor any warranty. So that's the case if you buy from outside. I'm not very specifically clear about Apple India's policy. And also with the iPhone 5s specifically, I know that the version that you are buying in India, the model number is slightly different from the model number that you buy from US. It has some I'm not recalling the model number, but definitely the model number is slightly different, and I think so it's a so I'm a little bit wary about buying handsets from outside because warranty can be an issue. Because generally these vendors, Samsung, LG, and etc., they have made it very clear that they will not honor warranty for handsets that are not purchased in India with official Indian bill and warranty. So just check with Apple India support regarding their policy. As I told you, I'm not very clear with Apple India's policies. This is by Ravi Pandey. Sir, which is the best phone in the price range of around rupees 20,000 to 25,000? My priorities are gamings and basic phone users. Uh, Under 25,000, I would say if you like large screen devices, then the HTC Desire 816 is my first choice. You can also go with the Moto X. That's an excellent device. Only con with the Moto X is that battery life is sort of average. You have to charge it every day, but a very good phone overall. And also we have the Samsung Galaxy Grand 2. So these are some of the choices that I have. If you like extremely large size phones, then even we have the what is this T2 Ultra from Sony. So these are my choices. First choice would be the Desire 816. Second would be the Moto X, and also you can look at this Grand 2 and this T2 Ultra. This is by Ahmed. Hi, sir. Good evening. Love your videos. Sir, can you tell me any Samsung mobile under 16,000 or Nokia? As I told you, I think so you joined a bit late, Ahmed. Earlier in the session, I told you that right now, around the 15, 16,000 mark, Samsung hasn't released any new Android phone recently in the last couple of months. Yes, we have that Grand Quattro, but that also is kind of old, I would say. And so I am currently not impressed with Samsung lineup around the 15, 16,000 mark as of now. Even with the Nokia, it's the devices that we have at that price point as of now are kind of old. So just wait. I know definitely Nokia is going to launch a new device. I don't know by next month or what in that price range, but I'm not very sure about Samsung because under 16,000 we have the Galaxy Core and the Quattro, but both of these devices, as of now, are not that great and kind of outdated, I would say. So, not recommended at that price point as of now. This is by Rambo Rajkumar. Hello, sir. I'm a big fan of you. I need a phone under rupees 27,000. So, what are your suggestions? If you are okay with the slightly average-ish battery life, definitely add just 1,000 more. You can get the Nexus 5. Go with that. It's an excellent phone. But if battery life is a big issue, then Desire 816 is there. And also we have the Moto X. So these are my choices as of now. If you like large screen devices, then we also have this LG G Pro. I do not recall the exact price of LG G Pro, but it's around that 28,000, 29,000 mark. So that's also a good phone if you like very large screen size devices. This is by Mihir Kandol. Will you review the Alcatel One Touch Idle X Plus One? Sorry, I won't be reviewing that. I do understand that I need to purchase most of the devices. So simply, I don't have the budget as of now for that device. And I'm also not very clear how will Alcatel handle the warranty issues or something because they have been out of India for quite some time. So as of now, I have no plans of reviewing that device. This is by Nitish Chan. Good evening, sir. I have two questions. Is the iPad mini still a good option for playing games? Yes, iPad mini is still a very good tablet, and definitely you can buy the iPad mini and play all the games. If you have the budget for the iPad mini Retina, go for that. That has the updated A7 processor. This is by Karibuddin Mehboob. Sir, I love your videos. Sir, my question is, which smartphone should I buy? Samsung Galaxy Note 3 Neo or the Samsung Galaxy S4 Active? I'm assuming you're not from India. That's why you are able to get the Samsung Galaxy S4 Active, because the S4 Active was never launched in India. I would say if that S1 functionality is very important for you, go with the Note 3 Neo. Else, I would suggest the Galaxy S4 Active, because it has the Qualcomm based processor, and it does not heat up as much as the Exynos processor. So I hope that helps you. Usha Kiran, sir, do you think smartwatches would come to a lower price segment below 5,000 rupees soon? I don't think so. It will happen anytime soon, Usha Kiran. The reason for that is smartwatches is kind of a very new category as of now, and with any new category of device, initially for at least for 1 or 2 years, the prices will be very high. So don't expect prices to be around 5,000 anytime soon. But yes, maybe in about 2 years, definitely we might see price points at that price bracket. This is by Bhavya sir, and I have the Moto G with the Google Play Edition firmware. Will I get the OTA update here in India? You should get the OTA update, because I also had initially the Moto G, the international version of Moto G, the single SIM version that I purchased from what do you say, London, and I did get an OTA update in India fine. So yes, you should be able to get the OTA update unless you have modified the bootloader or done something like that, rooted your device. Siddharth Dhule, sir, what is the problem with WhatsApp on Nokia phones? The app is frequently crashing on every Nokia phone. And one more thing, the app doesn't start on my Nokia phone. I think so. You mean your Lumia phones? Again, you did not specify the model name of the phone or whatever. Yes, WhatsApp was having problem even with Windows phones lately, and it was pulled down for about 21 days. They have released a new version of that. Try downloading it. I don't have a Windows phone right now to test it out, but I heard that yes, it's having some issues. So hopefully WhatsApp and Microsoft will fix it. This is by Sunil Raval, sir. Has Nexus 5 sound boosted after the 4.4.3 update? No, the sound is still the same, and I don't think so anything can be done about it. The speaker on this Nexus 5 is pretty weak, so any software cannot what do you say, boost it too much or do something like that. The only place where I've seen slight improvement on the Nexus 5 with the 4.4.3 update is in battery life, but it's not a huge upgrade, I would say. But I would say on an average, the battery life has increased about 10% with the 4.4.3 update. People say that they have seen improvement in the camera, but I generally don't see that. I feel the pictures are the same. So slight improvement in the battery life, I would say. This is by Balram Kumar. Sir, is there any problem regarding the back panel with your Moto E, as my Moto E back panel is loose? No, I don't have any problem. This is the Moto E that I have, and I don't have any problem with the back cover. It is fitting fine, but I have got quite a few tweets from people complaining about Moto E back cover. So Balram, what I would suggest is that contact Flipkart, and I heard that on Twitter some users have replied me that Flipkart has sent them new back covers that fit fine. So if you're having that issue, maybe the initial batch had a problem of like that, but I don't have a problem. So just contact what do you say, Flipkart or Motorola India, and they should solve an issue if you're having the issue with the back cover. This is by Mukhtar. Hello, sir. On standby, the LG L90 battery is draining so fast. Is there any solution? Mukhtar, I can't give you a one-shot solution with this, but the main culprit generally is the apps. Look at the apps that you are using and install an application like CPU Spy. That will give you an idea if some app or the phone is not able to go in deep sleep. Generally, I find some app or the other is not allowing the phone to go in deep sleep. That causes battery draining. But I have used the LG L90, and I have to say the battery life on LG L90 is very good. I am generally a user who just does not install every app that you can find. It's like Windows computer. If you start installing every stupid software that is available, that is an app on your device, then one or two apps might not be written properly and they can drain the battery. So always be a little bit cautious while installing apps on your devices. And generally my policy is whenever if I install a new app that I haven't used earlier, I install it and don't install anything else for the next 24 hours or so and monitor the battery life. If the battery life is draining very quickly after installing the app, generally the app is the culprit. So install CPU Spy and try to locate which app is causing the issue. I know it's a bit difficult, but that's the way to do it. This is by Gaurav Chandra. Hello, Ranjit sir. Good evening. Please tell me what is the laser sensor on the LG G3 and what is its purpose of putting laser sensor on the mobile? Yes, the LG G3 on the back actually you have the camera, you have the flash, and you also have actually one more opening which has actually a laser on it. And LG is using that for fast autofocusing. And LG says that you can achieve very fast autofocusing using that laser sensor. And I've seen some videos and it looks very fast. So that sensor is aiding for very fast autofocusing on the LG G3. This is by Malhar. Is it possible to add a graphic cards to MacBook Pro externally? No, sadly you can't do that. This is by Prabhat. Hi Ranjit, how would you rate the Xperia M2's dual camera compared to the S4 Mini and Desire 816? Prabhat, I cannot comment about S4 Mini because it's almost been a year since I have reviewed the S4 Mini, so I just don't recall. But comparing it with the Sony Xperia M2 and the Desire 816, I would definitely say the Desire 816 camera is much better than the Xperia M2's camera. Outdoors, I would say both the Xperia M2's camera as well as the Desire 816 camera are equal. They take very good photographs. But the Xperia M2 camera is actually pretty weak in indoor and artificial light. I saw a lot of noise with the M2's camera. But here in this scenario, the HTC Desire 816 camera does a better job. So definitely I would say the Desire 816 has a better camera. I hope that info helps. So it's been over 30 minutes, guys. I'll just take one or two more questions and then end this session. This is by SV Sen. Good evening, sir. Why does the Nexus 5 Moto X, their battery backup is not up to the mark? Moreover, they are using stock Android. You got to ask this question to what do you say, Google. The problem with almost all Nexus phones, even the Nexus 4 and Nexus 5, this is the current Nexus 5, the battery life is very average. And one thing I have noticed is that the milliamp rating on these Nexus devices is not that great. So to start off, they are not putting a very high capacity battery. So I hope Google in their next iteration of Nexus, whenever they launch, if Nexus 6 launches, I hope they add a bigger battery. So yes, even the Nexus 5 and the Moto X battery is kind of pretty average, I would say. And this is a question that I got from Ashutosh Agarwal. Sir, have you learned software programming before? Yes, I have done software programming, and actually I was a hardcore programmer. I have been doing programming, I would say, for 26, 28, 7 years or so. And I started very early, and I actually learned programming by myself, I would say. I started with assembly programming. This is way back 26, 27 years ago. But major programming I did was on C and C++. I did a lot of programming on C, C++. Learned myself, I would say, a lot. That time, at least like 20, 25 years ago, we didn't have internet. But I used to read huge books myself, and I learned programming on my own. Actually, I would say most of my career I did a lot of programming. I've written a lot of programs and stuff, but generally now I don't do programming. After C++, I did a lot of work on even Microsoft web technologies like ASP, etc. Then I migrated over to Linux and mostly worked with the PHP, MySQL, the LAMP, that's called Linux, Apache, MySQL, and even did some Perl programming. So yes, I do know a lot of programming. And still for my personal stuff or something, if I have to do something, I don't rely on external programs or programmers or stuff like that. I just do it myself. But these days I have completely almost stopped doing commercial programming. So I hope that helps, and it's over for 40 minutes, guys. So I'll be ending the session. Sorry, yeah, I'm getting the questions continuously one over the other, but simply timing is a constraint. And again, we'll be doing this next week also, again at Tuesday at 7 p.m. India time. Next Tuesday it will be at 17th June. Again, don't forget to hit the like button if you have enjoyed this Q&A session, and if you think this Q&A session was helpful. Thank you for joining me on this live Q&A session, and I hope that you'll be able to join me next week also. Thank you. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.